Adam Chris from MyMMAnews.com, being joined by James Lyonheart Lyons ahead of Stellar Fights, where he'll be defending his 145-pound title against William Mondragon. James, it's always a pleasure, my man. So, let's get into the bout a little bit. Let's get into some training a little bit. Let's get into the nooks and crannies before the fight. You've been at 302 now for quite some time. You've defended your belt under Stellar for quite some time. And you saw William Mondragon fight on the last card at Stellar. Can you talk a little bit about what you know about William going into this fight, what you saw in his last fight that you might be able to take away from going into this fight in your favor?
So he's southpaw. This is fourth southpaw training camp in a row. So for me, so fourth lefty I'm getting ready for. So that's a plus for me. Very left-hand heavy. I mean, he's good at jiu-jitsu he's a purple belt, just like me. So can't be a slouch there. He's coming down from 55, so a bigger dude. That's pretty much it. He had a quick finish, so that's pretty much all I got from that one.
Well, you had yourself a pretty nifty finish, pretty quick finish yourself. You had some exchanges with William Mondragon in the cage afterwards. You saw him at an event after the fight. You locked eyes with him. He said he looked away. Are you sensing a little bit of fear in the man?
Yeah, man. I mean, I seen him. He didn't look back at me. So I mean, it is what it is. I mean, we're fighting. So there's nothing. It is what it is. You're getting a fucking lock cage. You know, me and him.
Are you expecting any bit of the treatment that you got from William that you might have got from your last opponent?
I don't know. I mean, we'll see. He seems like a respectful guy. I mean, he doesn't seem like a fucking asshole. So.
You made your name with the quote, "I'm the champ, he's the chump."
Yeah.
You come with these quotes now. You're going to have to drop something even bigger, even better after you look for getting the win in this one. Do you have anything planned, per se?
Not yet, but if it comes out, something comes out, it'll be off. It'll just come naturally.
All right, man. So let's talk about training going into this fight. You're filled with a room full of killers here at 302 in Wilmington. If you guys ever want to come by. Full killers. You guys got your cousin Ben Coyle, who's fighting on the same card. You guys getting really good work in. Do you think that, let's say, William's training is on the same level? I mean, we talked a little bit off record about some of his training techniques that you don't necessarily think might work in his favor. But what do you think that this Camp 302 brings that you don't think William's going to be prepared for?
Well, you know, we have a ton of pros now, tons of amateurs, experience, you know, a cage now that we're in, you know, a legit fight cage that had fights in it. It's a big plus now. We have that going for us. I mean, we're very well-rounded school. I don't know too many of his training partners or who he's surrounded by. I do know that he's in Pennsylvania, so a strong wrestling state, you know, especially that area. So I'm sure he has good wrestling partners, but I think I have a more solid team, and I'm looking to prove it at 27.
Do you think that he presents you any problems as a fighter that you're getting ready for yourself? You mentioned off camera that you've been working on your footwork. You know, you've been working on that quite a bit with your cousin Ben. You've been trying to stay a little bit lighter on your feet. Is that pretty much the only thing you've solely focused on in this fight, or is there anything that you're preparing for William Mondragon that you think that might be a potential threat?
I've focused on a good amount of jiu-jitsu. I mean, that's where my fights always end up going. And also, too, he's a purple belt, too. So he can't be, I don't think I'm just going to grab a sub and tap him, you know. I think it's going to be a longer fight. I think it's going to go into later rounds, but I see me getting the finish in the championship rounds.
So getting a little bit into more work, you have a grappling match coming up this weekend, a fight to win.
Yeah, so I got fight to win this Friday, April 12th, which is big for me, you know, just to make me legitimate in the jiu-jitsu world for me. You know, just something to check off the list. I'm big on jumping on opportunities. I mean, if something happened, you know, a week after Stellar, I might jump on it. You know, I'm here to fight. I'm here to compete.
So you said you're going to close out 2019 and then maybe look to enter the pro ranks. Is that your finalized plan, or is that something that is tentative right now that you're going to look into later in 2019, or is it definite that at the end of 2019 you are going to make that jump?
Who knows? I just would like to have a solid 2 years as an amateur. You know, I don't want to rush it. You know, you can't go back, and I want to make sure I checked off all the things off my list as opponents go. You know, lefties, righties, all different styles, you know, just all the different variables I can encounter before I go pro.
And you've predominantly fought your career in Delaware, and you
Yeah.
prefer that rule set. Is that the only reason why you like to stay in Delaware, where there's so much opportunities in other regions, but Stellar, huge name in Delaware, but is it the rule set that keeps you there?
I really like the rule set. It's a big plus, but also too, you know, Hockessin P.A.L's home. You know, I grew up going there after school, you know, and that's where I'm fighting. So I mean, it's really cool for me to go and get in a cage and fight there. You know, this will be my 4th time fighting there, and I can't turn down fighting in Hockessin.
So you're the man with the belt, you're the man with the target on his back. Do you have anything to say for William Mondragon? Because I'm sure he's going to be listening.
Get ready to scrap, because I'm coming.
Now, if you had, finalizing, I'm going to wrap it down, if you had your Babe Ruth moment, you're calling your shot, your walk out of the park, how do you get the win? How do you get center cage? How do you get the W? How do you boldly call your win?
Any way I can get a stoppage. Submission, TKO, knockout, I don't care. I'm coming for a finish. Fuck a decision. I want finishes.
No judges needed for this fight. You heard it from James Lyons. Lyonheart, ladies and gentlemen. He's coming for the Stellar Fights, defending his belt. Look for him. MyMMAnews.com. Keep it locked.